If we are thinking of teaching and learning as inquiry, we need to know what the students already know. In this part of the cycle, students have planted, cared for and harvested food from our school gardens. They know it takes time and they know how long it takes for things to grow before they're harvested and eaten.
The second part of the teaching as inquiry cycle, we think about what we've contributed to the existing student outcomes, and we know that through our focus on solo taxonomy, we've worked to facilitate children's higher thinking skills. We've also had a focus on pupil or learner agency, where students are taking responsibility for their own learning. The key competencies, we're using solo taxonomy, where students are evaluating their own progress and achievement towards the key competencies. And over the last couple of years, through our PLD on science, particularly the nature of science and the science competencies, to encourage students' focus on their own learning. What we do need to do now is we need to empower our students and encourage them to take responsibility through meaningful contexts such as a garden project.
The big idea is for our children to choose a crop that they will grow, which will give them enough produce to make a soup for the whole school. Our interpretation of stone soup. To enhance critical thinking skills, we will be testing various types of fertiliser to see which one encourages faster crop growth. They will be utilising a statistical investigation to both record what is happening with the crop and measure plant growth. This data will be analysed and evaluated so that students can make an informed judgment as to which will be the best fertiliser. At the end of the project, we hope that they will apply their newfound knowledge and understanding by helping the Linton Park gardeners in their gardening projects.
Darling, Eli.
Plan to really focus on the use of a meaningful context for student learning. While we often say that we're focusing on learner agency or higher order thinking skills or student leading the learning, quite often this is quite limited or not apparent at all, and it is also really difficult for teachers to let go and allow the students to take greater control of the learning. As the notes on real-world problem solving and innovation state, we need to ask students to complete tasks for which they do not already know a response or a solution. Our big idea is asking the students to grow a crop that will make soup for the whole school. Previously, we've chosen what to plant. We've planted tomatoes and made tomato sandwiches. We've grown potatoes and made potato bakes. We grow apples and make apple crumbles, or vegetables and herbs and allow the students to take them home. All very worthwhile, and we all enjoy the produce, but the students, in fact everyone, already knows the outcome. By asking our students to firstly, after reading Stone Soup, to research an ingredient that they can grow to make soup, and then research common types of fertilisers which enhance crop growth, we're passing the decision making and the problem solving over to them. The outcome is not known to any of us. The students themselves will monitor and measure plant growth, just as those of us who have our own vegetable gardens do. They will also have to use both science and maths. In science, students will need to know that plants have certain requirements to stay alive: sun, water, air and nutrients. The students are researching what nutrients are and which ones they will use. By choosing 3 different types of nutrients, the students will be able to select the most beneficial and which one is most cost effective for the school. We actually make our own compost and we also make worm tea, so these might end up being selected. We'll also encourage them to use fair testing by maybe growing one row of the vegetable with no fertiliser at all, so then students can compare the growth. They'll use what they know about statistical investigations to pose questions for investigation, collect category data, display data in pictograms or line graphs, and then make statements about the data displays, all maths objectives from the New Zealand curriculum. We believe our plan also meets the criteria for innovation in that it is designed to benefit people other than the students themselves. Not only will the students across the school benefit from having soup, teachers will benefit from seeing the results of an inquiry. We also plan for our students to then work alongside the residents who use the Linton Park community garden and to assist them in caring for the garden beds. Linton Park is our adopted park, and each term we go down and clean up litter. Assisting with the gardens will also enhance our focus on community engagement programs. So in summary, our students will generate ideas and alternatives, explore several procedures that might be appropriate to the situation, design a solution, and then test that solution.
Collaborative learning, quoted from collaboration handout. In traditional schooling in most countries, students do their own work and receive their own grades. This model does not prepare them well for the workplace, where they're likely to work in teams with others to accomplish tasks that are too complex for individuals to do on their own. Throughout the unit, we have made provision for the students to discuss and make decisions together in order to gather information. Together, they will use the information to build on their previous knowledge. Throughout the process, they will plan together, discuss the order in which they will do things, and have shared responsibility for presenting the information to others. Working together will ensure students are engaged in their learning and they have ownership of all work. It strengthens social skills. It is important for students to resolve significant issues, as this determines the success of shaping the content and process in order to reach a mutual outcome.
Knowledge construction. Memory alone does not give students the ability to become critical thinkers or acquire the reasoning skills that will be required for their future success in higher academic or knowledge-based organisations. As information is so readily available through modern technologies, employees are now being required to evaluate productively and transfer knowledge to new situations and problems. Knowledge construction is about creating ideas and an awareness of things that are unknown. To be able to construct new knowledge, one must be able to apply their current knowledge of a given topic or situation. New knowledge is then created by understanding present data or information, breaking down this data, and then fusing together what you know and did not know. This fusion is done via comparing objectively the information within the source of the data that have been investigated.
Ready?
Okay. Use of ICT for learning. Our plan will hopefully address the issue of ICT being used to consume or present information as it states in ITL's reading on the use of ICT for learning. Our students are very good at finding one or two pieces of information and graphics on the internet and using them to assist them present work on science or social studies topics. They are also good at accessing and using interactive education websites with maths activities and reading activities, etc. We know that our children are not discriminating in their belief that everything they see on the screen is true, and we have evidence of that. During the student interviews on ICTs conducted by them at Ngā Pūmanawa e Waru, one child stated that it was true because Google never lies. We plan to provide opportunities for students to access the internet to research information about a crop that could be used to make soup, and to research common and effective fertilisers and where we can purchase these or make them ourselves. Hopefully, they will find out information about worm tea and homemade compost. While they are doing this, we will guide them in becoming more intelligent users of information gained from the internet and less passive consumers of the information. We also plan to use ICTs to present photo stories, perhaps even time-lapse photos of how the plants are growing. We plan to use Excel spreadsheets to record and graph the data on how the plants are growing with the different types of fertiliser. Most of our students can use one set of data to present information, but have probably not included all data to present in one line chart. This may be a learning opportunity where they learn to do this with other data and then try it themselves. We also want to use applications such as Rotorua, so that information on the different types of fertiliser that students have researched are accessible by others while they are observing the plants growing in the gardens. By using these activities, we hope to enhance knowledge construction skills and collaboration in our students. This soup is delicious. I wish I had a stone that could make soup so we could share it with others.
Toot, 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 toot.